At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. Now, we have studied at the age of 3, at the age of 5, now at the age of 14. So, what happened at the age of 14? He gave company to his uncle, where Allahabad Music Conference. Now, with the name itself, we are getting an idea that there must be so many musicians there, and it must be such a huge conference that he would get and like he would explore himself there. At the end of his recital, that means he did perform there, Ustad Faiz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." So, Ustad Faiz Khan appreciated him by mentioning that he must work hard and he'll definitely become famous and will achieve heights. With the opening of All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. Now, what's a big break? So it's like after that, everything good happens for you. It's that one single opportunity you are waiting in your life to explore or to like walk the path of success. So this was this big break in his life, which came in 1938, and how with the opening of All India Radio. And why is this considered to be a big break? Because with this, he became a very often heard Shehnai player on radio. So he would give his performances and that would be broadcast on the radio. Everybody, like there would be so many people who would be mesmerized listening him playing Shehnai. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. So on the day of independence, that is 15th August 1947, he was the first one who addressed the audience present there. He was the first one to greet the audience. And how did he greet the audience? By playing Shehnai. Since Shehnai is considered to be auspicious, and that was an auspicious day in the history of India. That day has got historical importance in itself. And on that day, the first thing that happened was the performance of Bismillah Khan, and he was playing Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi. So this was the rag he performed that day from the Red Fort to an audience which included Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous speech, Tryst with Destiny. So you understand, there was this very famous speech that was given by Jawaharlal Nehru, and the audience included Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, and there, before the speech of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he performed. And what did he perform? He performed Rag Kafi. And then later, Jawaharlal Nehru addressed the audience and he gave his famous speech, that is Tryst with Destiny. Okay, Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. Now, it's not that his charm is limited to our country only. He was famous abroad too. He was an international player and he would be called every now and then at different places internationally to perform Shehnai. So he was such a demanded personality and he would mesmerize the audience with his Shehnai playing so much that he would be called every now and then and he's supposed to perform. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan. So the first time he went out of India was to Afghanistan, and when he performed there, the king of that place was so mesmerized with the music of Bismillah Khan that the king gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. You understand? So the first place he went out of India was Afghanistan, and when he performed there, the king of Afghanistan was so mesmerized with the performance of Bismillah Khan that he gifted him Persian carpets and other souvenirs. What are souvenirs? It's mentioned here, things given in memory of a place, person or event. The king of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Goonj Uthi Shehnai, which was a very huge achievement for Bismillah Khan. So once he was performing at a festival. Now there are so many music festivals that happens every now and then. In fact, music festivals, it happens now also. Okay, so he was performing in one of the music festivals, and there he was seen by who? A director named Vijay Bhatt, and he was so mesmerized with the performance of Bismillah Khan that he named his movie Goonj Uthi Shehnai after the performance of Bismillah Khan. So you understand, this was one such huge recognition for him. The film was a hit, it has to be, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chart buster. Now, what is a chart buster? Record breaker. So, the film that was directed by Vijay Bhatt and that was named Goonj Uthi Shehnai, that film was a hit in itself, and there was this music that was composed by Bismillah Khan in that, and the music is Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya. So, he composed this music in this movie, and this movie and the song became a chart buster. Like, they were so famous and they gained so much recognition. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two. So what is the celluloid world? Celluloid world means Bollywood world. It's mentioned here, old-fashioned way of referring to films or movies. So since his first movie itself, as in his first composition, was such a huge success, and in fact the movie was named after him only, still he was just limited to only two films. One was Vijay Bhatt's Goonj Uthi Shehnai, which we have already discussed, and the second one was Vikram Srinivasa's Kannada venture. So one was a Hindi movie and the second one was a Kannada venture, that is Sanadhi Apanna. So this was his second venture. I just cannot come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Now, of course, when his first music composition in the movie Goonj Uthi Shehnai was such a hit, people were expecting, the audience were expecting that he would come up with a lot of music compositions and somehow he would become a very famous name in the film world too. But when asked, he mentions that he finds this world artificial. He doesn't find it natural. He doesn't find the movie world, the Bollywood world natural. He finds it artificial, and he does not like the shine, the glitters, everything that are involved in this world. And that is why his ventures were just limited to two. And he mentions this thing by putting it a lot of stress on this thing, that he doesn't feel natural when it comes to having music compositions in Bollywood world. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. So, like, since he was performing so well and he was such a Shehnai Wadak that he would get a lot of awards every now and then. There was, you would say, a series of awards, and every now and then he would be recognized at one place or another place. In fact, he turned out to be the first Indian who was invited to give a performance at a very prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. So you understand, he has gained so much recognition, and that's the reason. Because of him, he was somehow shining like a star, and at the same time, he was giving importance to India too. Since he belonged to India, he was creating a name of our country in different countries. And that's why we are studying about him today. Because he has got so many recognitions in his life. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So there were so many different places, there were so many fairs. These are the pieces of information you are supposed to remember, because a question can be asked on this. So there were so many variable places, prestigious places that he was invited to perform. He was invited to give his performance too. So you understand, he was such a recognized figure. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahar Mausiqui Ustad Bismillah Khan. This is again one of the biggest recognition. He was so much appreciated, so much recognized, he was so demanded, and he was such a known figure that in fact in his appreciation there was an auditorium which was named after him, which is a huge recognition in itself. So in Tehran there was an auditorium, and the auditorium was named Tahar Mausiqui Ustad Bismillah Khan. So you understand, everywhere he was going, he was mesmerizing the audience with his performances, and somehow was gaining a lot of recognition at every place. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. What is the meaning of conferred? Were given to him respectfully. So he actually got a lot of prestigious awards in his life for his performances, performances when it comes to playing Shehnai. So he was conferred the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan too. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the most prestigious award, and that is the Bharat Ratna. So you need to remember this piece of information when he was conferred with the Bharat Ratna in 2001. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." So after receiving so many awards, after gaining so much recognition, he only had one thing to say. And that was, he just gave it as a statement that we all, this is a general statement to all the Indians, that teach your children music. We must teach our children music, that is Hindustani music, because that's the Hindustan's richest tradition, he says. In fact, he specifies this point too, that even the modern world, even Western people, they are also coming to embrace our music. So when it's available in our own country, why not take benefit of it? So this is what he says. And with the coveted award, coveted means much desired. So these awards are the much desired awards, resting on his chest and eyes glinting, shining, sparkling with rare happiness. You would not find such happiness every now and then. After getting so many awards and so much recognition, of course, this happiness has to be rare. So when he experiences this, he mentions this, that is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. This is what he says. In spite of having travelled all over the world, Khan Sahab, as he's fondly called, yes, Ustad Bismillah Khan was called Khan Sahab. This was his name, and he was called that with so much love, is exceedingly fond of Banaras and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. So of course, he was very famous, and he had performed in a lot of places internationally, and he must have visited a lot of places. But despite that, he was very much attached to Dumrao and Banaras, and these two towns were his favorite. No matter what, it generally happens that if anybody has not gone out of India, he or she wishes that he would like to explore abroad. But he, when visits every place and then he comes back to India, he realizes that these two places are the most wonderful places for him. In fact, many Indians, they realize it after spending a huge time or after spending a short duration out of India, they would just find India the most wonderful place to live in. So the same happens with him. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples there. Now there was a student of him who demanded him to stay in USA. And he in fact assured this thing that in the USA itself, he would create such an architecture that Bismillah Khan would feel as if he is in India. He mentions that a student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school, and what this student was wishing for, he wanted to open a Shehnai school, and he wanted that this Shehnai school should be headed by Ustad Bismillah Khan. And in order to make him stay in USA, what he promises to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by copying the temples there. So what he would do, he would create an architecture in a manner that Bismillah Khan would feel as if he was in Banaras only. What he would do, he would copy the architecture of the temples of Banaras. He was so much like desperate to like make him stay there and to head that particular school. But Khan Sahab asked him if he would be able to transport River Ganga as well, something really, really touchy. Khan Sahab mentioned, that is Ustad Bismillah Khan mentioned, okay about the temples, but what about the River Ganga? So he was so much attached with the flowing water of River Ganga. He has spent so much time at the banks of River Ganga that he was so connected, and he was concerned that, okay, the temples are okay, but what about the River Ganga? Can you bring that from India? Later, he's remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan. And he later mentions that whenever he goes out of India, whenever he goes for his international concerts, he keep on wishing that he wants to go back to India soon. He wants to be in his own country as soon as possible. While in Mumbai, I think of only Banaras and the Holy Ganga, and while in Banaras, I miss the unique matha of Dumrao. So he mentions that whenever he's in Mumbai, he keeps on thinking about the Holy Ganga, and he keeps on desiring for Banaras. He would want to go to Banaras. And talking about Banaras, whenever he goes there, he would miss the unique matha of Dumrao. So you understand, he was so much attached with these two towns that he would just yearn to go at these two places. That's it. He would not enjoy living at any other place. Such was his attachment. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Indeed true, something really beautiful which is mentioned in the story. Ustad Bismillah Khan was a Muslim, but despite being a Muslim, he was never of this opinion that he would not go to any temple or he would not perform there. He was so open, and with incidents like with examples like him, we get to see the cultural heritage of India, the acceptance of India. Like how it has got different religions and cultures, and all the religions and cultures, they stay together in the country. So his life is a perfect example, and he has very well, with like not so many efforts he needed to put in to perform in a temple. He was effortlessly performing. He never had any problem in performing any song which was meant for Hindus, or he never had any problem in performing at the temples. He just had love from his Shehnai. He did not like divided this on the basis of religion or caste. So such was his example in India, and you would find him in his past, you would find him performing every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. And this is how the whole story ends. This is how we get to know different, like at different ages, how he rose to fame, how he was like really interested in music since childhood itself, and how so many awards and recognitions were given to him, were conferred on him, and how he was a true patriotic, how he was Indian by religion, and how he like somehow created a success story for himself. At the same time, he created a name for India also internationally. So I hope you have understood the story. You have understood how Bismillah Khan rose to fame, and when he became so famous nationally and internationally, then too, he was so down to earth, and he always enjoyed like staying to his basics. He always enjoyed playing Shehnai. In fact, in the story, we get to know this, that's how he respected his art. So this was all about Ustad Bismillah Khan, and talking about him further, Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st of August 2006 at the age of 90 after he was suffering from a prolonged illness. So he was suffering from an illness for a very long time, and then he was no more. He died at the age of 90. He was given a state funeral. So this was all about Bismillah Khan. Okay, now let us start to discuss questions based on the story we have just studied. The first question is, why did Aurangzeb ban the playing of the pungi? With this, the whole story started. So Aurangzeb banned the playing of the pungi because of its shrill and unpleasant sound. It was then considered a noise maker, and that is why the playing of pungi was banned in the royal court. The next question is, how is a Shehnai different from a pungi? Okay, so Shehnai is made using a hollow stem, and that too the one which is longer and broader than pungi. At the same time, it would have 7 holes on the body, and these holes would be closed and open at different intervals of time. So this is how Shehnai was different than a pungi. The next one is, where was the Shehnai played traditionally? How did Bismillah Khan change this? So Shehnai was played traditionally at different weddings, temples, and at royal courts. And why Shehnai was played at weddings and temples? Because its sound was considered auspicious. Okay, and how did Bismillah Khan change this? Bismillah Khan is the person who brought Shehnai playing to the classical stage. So the credit of Shehnai on the classical stage goes to Bismillah Khan. So I hope these 3 questions are clear. Moving ahead, I do have some questions, but these questions are your goodbye questions. This means this is your homework. I'll be reading these questions for you, and you're supposed to attempt these questions by writing them down in your homework notebook. Okay, so the first question is, where did Bismillah Khan play the Shehnai on 15th August 1947? Why was the event historic? This is your first question, and this is an important question too. Okay, the next one is, why did Bismillah Khan refuse to start a Shehnai school in the USA? Again, an important question. Next, find at least 2 instances in the text which tell you that Bismillah Khan loves India and Banaras. You have to find the instances and you have to write them down. You must remember them, okay? And the last one is, when and how did Bismillah Khan get his big break? So these are your goodbye questions. This means this is your homework which you are supposed to attempt. So I hope you have understood the story. You have understood how Shehnai got its name and how Bismillah Khan was such a famous Shehnai Wadak. And despite getting so much success, he always stayed connected to his roots. In fact, in both the parts of The Sound of Music, the message conveyed is that work hard in the right direction and you will be successful in your life, and never give up at the face of any difficulty or any challenge. Do go through the text one more time to get a better understanding of it. Also, do attempt the goodbye questions that are given to you by writing them down in your homework notebook. We'll be discussing those questions in your next class. Till then, stay safe and enjoy your learning.